Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I thought I'd start the presentation today just telling you a little bit about St Mary's Sexual Assault Referral Centre. St Mary's was the first sexual assault referral centre to be established in the UK. Now 30 years ago, this year is our 30th anniversary. There are about 43 different SARCs across the country. I don't know if any of you are aware of SARCs and what they do. We are the busiest in the UK, but it doesn't mean to say that others aren't doing similar work. We are probably also the most integrated. Since we opened, we've seen over 20,000 people. We see people of all ages, male and female, and it was 10 years ago that we established our Children's Sexual Assault Referral Centre. A little bit of background. What do we do? We provide the whole service from start to finish. People can come to St Mary's either via the police. We are part funded by the Police and Crime Commission and part funded by NHS England. So the police can refer people to us and do, but we also take self-referrals, and people can come to us at any point in the journey. So if they're making a report to the police, we offer full forensic examination, sample gathering, medical care. We also offer counselling, support through court, and we have particularly dedicated teams in CSE, and also we have a child team. That's a very quick review of what we do. For the past April to April, we saw over 1,600 cases, and broadly speaking, children are around about a third of that, and we see children, 0 to 18, and it's about half, I would say, slightly more teenagers that we see, and about 11% of our client group are male. That's a little bit about that, and there's some pretty pictures of our organisation, what happens there. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about our film. If I Speak, Will You Listen was a film produced for our annual conference, and the purpose of the film was to try and capture the range of the people that we see. It's not easy to capture those voices, as you can imagine. I have seen people who've experienced rape and sexual assault come and talk to a group about their experience, and sometimes it's been great, sometimes it hasn't been so great. And what I wanted to do in the conference was really give as many people a voice I could, in a way that they didn't feel compromised or uncomfortable. Rape and sexual violence is all about power and control, and this was about giving our clients a bit of power and control back and saying, we will listen to you, you talk, and we will do as much as we can to incorporate your voice in our film. And what we wanted to do, a key purpose of the film, was actually to change how professionals worked with client groups. The annual conference is open to anybody who works with people who are raped or sexually assaulted. So that could be police, could be judiciary, it could be people in the health service, it could be the voluntary sector. So it was about giving people the chance to say, well, this is what it was like for me. So why was that important in that instance? Well, this particular conference that we did was about rape and mental health and the impact it had on people's mental health. So what we wanted to do was give our clients a unique access to the people that they'd worked with by giving them, I've now understood the camera shot, which is down the barrel. So they were talking directly to the people in the audience. They were saying, this is what it was like for me. In the client group, we tried to, as I say, embrace as many people as we could. So how do we decide that? How do we pick out of those 1,600 people who comes to be on this film? So it was a little bit of a two-pronged approach. The team approached clients that they thought might be willing to take part, but also clients came forward and said, actually, I'd quite like to take part in that film. So it was quite important that they weren't right in the middle of any of the services that they were receiving. It was quite important they were coming to the end of that and felt comfortable about talking about it. We had, just by way of example, we had somebody who'd experienced historical sexual abuse. We had a male victim who'd been raped acutely. We had a young person who was about 14 describing how she'd been sexually assaulted. And we also had a woman who had been raped in the course of her work. She was a financial advisor and was visiting a client who raped her at his house. So we had quite different experiences there. And what we got from our clients in terms of what they wanted to do was actually make a difference to people who reported and encourage people to come forward and pick up the services that St Mary's offered. So how did we do that? Oh, sorry. We did that. We did filming throughout a day. It was one day, quite intense. We just interviewed them. We let them talk freely. We didn't try and stop anyone from saying what they wanted to say. We did keep our clients separate. We felt that was important because we wanted them to feel that it was about them specifically and what they wanted to say. We did plan our interview questions, but they really by no means were prescriptive. This was about allowing them to talk. And I think, being the interviewer in this situation, what was really interesting was they all went on their journey during the filming. So a lot of them felt very comfortable coming to us right at the beginning and saying, yes, we'd like to do this. But actually, they opened up much more, they said a lot more, and it was very, very difficult to then, at the end of the stage, to try and cut that and cut some of those really important statements that they were saying. But we did. And the film is about half an hour long. And what was the impact of that film? Well, for our clients, it's been really majorly positive. It's been something that they've really grown in, and they've wanted to do more with us. And they've been actively involved in promoting our services, being real advocates for us in a huge and different way, ways that you couldn't have even planned, really. On the day, we supported them because we invited them to come to the conference and see the film being played. It was played right at the beginning of the conference. And I didn't know how that was going to go, actually. I really was quite nervous about it. So I made sure they were supported. They were at the front. And there was a lot of... the film, say, was half an hour long. There was silence at the end of it. There was like this, kind of lull in the proceedings, and then applause and tears, and people just blown away by their voices, really. And that was hugely beneficial to the clients that had taken part, but also to the staff that supported them, because the staff had really worked hard on supporting them all the way through their journey. So that was great for the staff. As I said before, the audience was very mixed. So we had people from the legal profession, we had people from the healthcare profession, and some of the very direct comments made in this film were, I couldn't believe that was going to happen to me. Going to court was the worst day of my life. This is what happened to me. And actually, the judiciary in particular, the police in particular, really took it all on board. So I would say the end result was, they spoke, and the people in the audience did listen. And it was a really worthwhile thing to do, and something that, as I say, we will hope to continue to do in different ways, either on our website or certainly in our conference. So, thank you very much.